Fired up, fired up, fired up.
All right, I think that was our introduction music. Welcome to Conversations and Situations. Season 1, episode number 2. Number 2, y'all. We on our second one. Woo-hoo. All right. Somebody want to talk to us about our conversation today?
It's gonna be the craziest episode of the season right there.
Somebody bring us up. What we talking?
Top it off with the crazy.
What's our topic for today?
2020,
baby. Everything.
2020 has been a year to remember. Everybody, Lord Jesus. Anybody want to start off?
I'll drink to that.
Peace, Kobe. He got on the helicopter. We lost our legend.
2020 just went crazy bionic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cry all over.
About Kobe. What do y'all remember what date that Kobe passed? What date was that? It was late January, right?
That's what I'm saying. And then
it's back then.
Hold on, let's talk about that for a minute. Let me tell you what happened. The night Kobe passed, we were out that night. And no, I was out with some friends. On my way home, it was so foggy. I took my phone and I let my window down and I started recording because it was so thick. And then the next day is when he would end up, through the night is when he ended up passing after that.
Wow.
I still have it. And because he passed that night, I kept it on my phone.
Dang.
Man, look.
Well, that day, whatever. Yeah, but that was serious. So that was.
Man.
Where do y'all know where you were? Do you know how you felt? What was your reaction to hearing? Did you believe it? Like the first time did you be like, they tripping? Like, did you believe it?
To be honest, I didn't believe it because the first time I saw it on Facebook. Facebook try to kill everybody.
Right.
They try to kill somebody once a week. But me, first I went to Twitter and like there was nothing there. Then there was one post and then whoosh. It was everywhere on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then at that, because I was at work that day, and I was sitting on my forklift in the middle of unloading the trailer, or yelling at somebody, or doing some combination of the two.
One of the other.
Yeah. And I got that. And when I realized it was true, I had to pull over for a minute. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to pull over for a minute. That one hurt. That one hurt.
It was unbelievable. I didn't believe it when I heard it. I think it was Sydney that she's always my breaking news. She watched. Yeah. She swears she don't watch the news, but Facebook get everything before the news, so she don't watch the news, but she watched the news. Mm-hmm. She told me, and I couldn't believe it the first time. And then I'm like, I'm a grown lady, so I just can't go just kind of hear it the first time and not go check out before I start saying something or whatever. And when I heard it, I was just like, unbelievable. At first they kept saying they never said who all was playing with him.
I was about to say, and then to say Gigi was on there, Bert.
And his daughter. Oh, Bert. That was crazy. And then they kept saying Kobe and his daughter, but then there were so many other people on the helicopter too that they didn't even, for a long time, in my opinion anyway, I think if I had been a family member of the other people, I would have kind of felt some kind of way because they wasn't really saying everybody else, but there were people on there, right?
Well, just in particular, when it first happened, nobody knew for sure who all. The only people they knew for sure were on that helicopter was Kobe and Gigi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I don't know if you know or not, but you went off the screen.
But it's Kobe, so everybody gonna know he's on there. So it took a minute. Before they got the rest of the passenger manifest before they knew exactly who else was on that helicopter. But I would have been the same way. Like if one of my loved ones had been on that helicopter, I would have been a little pissed because y'all just gonna act like we wasn't on that.
Right.
And then there was a man and his daughter too. Like there was
from Gigi's team, another parent. Yeah. There were actually some more kids, and there were parents from the team.
Yeah. That was so heartbreaking altogether. I could just think about his wife and losing 2 people at one time, and a child, a husband, and
listen to me.
I'm telling you,
crazy right now. I would think I would still be crazy. Like y'all have to.
I would be beyond counseling. Like, I don't even know how people could do that.
I don't even know how I can live like this.
Yeah, and I can tell you from my perspective as a parent, from my perspective, one of my worst entire fears is having to bury one of my children before me.
Yes.
That's crazy. I'm even afraid to even think about. That's crazy.
Yeah. I can't even imagine what she went through after that.
But then the sad part about it, you don't want to bury your parents. So it's just like
can't nobody die.
Ain't nobody die. It's just sad.
I said something to Sid one day about me not being here.
No, I mean,
what? You know what?
No, because I feel like I got a whole list of people the world could do without. The president. Yeah. Oh, look. So I mean, I got a whole list of people the world can do without. You know, little baby. We can do without little baby. I
cannot.
A whole bunch of these trash ass rappers, these new rappers, we can do without a lot of them.
Yeah. So let's see what else has popped up in 2020. So Kobe got and
then it was the COVID.
And then
COVID after that.
And then China tried to kill us all.
Do y'all remember when that popped up? It was in Kobe. So it started in Wuhan.
Somebody ate that bag.
Yeah. And so but it. I mean, it sounds funny, but it's absolutely correct. The coronavirus, that strain of coronavirus, a virus. So here's the thing about viruses is they adapt for their survivability. Right. So those bats, they've already known that those bats carry coronavirus, and they still consume these bats. So at some point,
y'all saying, I don't think I heard this. Y'all saying that somebody ate a bat, and that's how.
Yes. So at some point, somebody consumed one of those bats that was infected, and that virus did exactly what viruses do. That virus mutated to save itself.
Yeah.
And it became a human strain. The coronavirus is not new. The coronavirus is on the back of the Lysol bottles, on the back of the Lysol. It's not new. This strain that is a human-born strain, it is new. And it's only because viruses do exactly what viruses do. It adapted to save itself. Somebody ate it. It found itself in somebody's stomach line, and it was like, oh, now you thought I was gone, didn't you? No. And then it adapted itself and became a human-born strain. And from there, it was all downhill. Because I'm telling you right now, I work around a lot of truck drivers. So I can tell you from experience that people are nasty. People are nasty. Like, motherfucker, people don't wash their hands. People, like I've literally seen people stand in the bathroom and empty a bladder that sounds like it was the size of a basketball and just zip up and walk out. And I'd be like, yo, you ain't gonna wash? No, people are nasty. And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons it's been so hard to get rid of this virus. The only way to get rid of this virus is first you have to identify the virus. The second step is to isolate the virus. And the third step is to destroy it. But we can't isolate it because people are nasty.
And then people won't shut it down. Like people are too afraid to shut it down. And if they had shut it down like they said that they were going to do, when I say they, I'm talking about the leaders. They were supposed to shut it down so that they can contain it. If they had shut the city down for 14 days or 15 days or whatever, and treated whoever had it at that point, we wouldn't be. Well, how many months? March, April, May, June, July. What are we? We're August. This is what, 5 months deep now?
Coming up on 5 months.
I don't even see an ending. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
And mind you,
you got places like Florida.
It didn't start when the U.S. officially announced that. It was way before.
Yeah, it was. We were already 3 weeks behind the other side of the country. The other side of the planet. The other side of the planet had it bad before we even got any of it.
The U.S. is so behind on the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And that's how we can always tell how the coronavirus at this point is going to affect our country, because all we have to do is look at them 3 weeks ago.
Right.
But wait a minute. But China hasn't reported their numbers are not still rising like the U.S.
They lying.
Right.
They lying.
I don't know. That's possible. That is quite possible.
Scientifically speaking, with a hint of mathematics, there are almost 10 billion people on this planet. There are almost 4 billion people in China. On the continent, in Asia alone. There's no way with all them little bitty people over there, it ain't still going up.
No, I'm not saying that there's nothing else over there. They don't report the numbers rise. Now it could very well be too, because they're not reporting it. Because we all know that the news is propaganda. So they don't want, they're gonna tell us what they want us to believe. So you're right when you say that it's possibly still going on just as much. They're just not telling us about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the media never tells you everything. They're gonna always tell you what they want you to know,
what they want us to repeat, and what they want us to believe.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, my wonderful grandfather, Mr. Tiller, he's had his thing about watching the news.
Right.
He didn't watch the news, and he was like, "I don't want to watch that. I ain't doing it
It's
throwing
very
gas on the fire."
depressing.
He tell me every day all they doing is throwing gas on the fire. Yeah, my granddad would not watch the news. He watch anything but the news.
Yeah.
And then most news sources distort the truth to gain viewers, because the thing is that what you see on TV is not what is really going on.
That's about 10%.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because
and it's always the worst. It's the worst of the 10%.
I mean, the biggest thing of 2020 is the Black Lives Matter movement, and that was like glorified to the 20th time, like 20th.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was over exaggerated in the media.
And we got to get to that too. That Black Lives Matter thing. That's a good topic too.
Yes. Yes.
That's gonna be.
And what else? What about this? Right.
That's gonna be 2 or 3 episodes by itself.
For real. But what about? Did y'all hear at one point? This was I think it was a host when they was talking about these big ass bees or flies.
First off, the murder hornets. The murder hornets are not a host. They do exist. They're just not nearly as bad. They're not nearly as bad as the media is making them say. These hornets have been a problem in Washington State for the last 8 years. They've been there. They've been there. The media just felt like, you know what? Well, let's just throw something else at them. Murder hornets.
On top of freaking COVID going wild.
Yeah, it's all kind of, and I cannot believe the sheer amount of times 2020 has tried to kill us. It's weird.
So first of all, they're talking like this is what's interesting as far as Corona goes, and I'm not going to talk about numbers because I don't listen to the numbers personally. I did at the beginning, but I found myself getting anxiety. I couldn't hardly sleep, and I'm not even a high anxious person. But when you're talking about you can't hardly walk down the street or breathe near people, even people that in your side of your house, home possible, that you could actually die. That shit had me crazy. That had me on edge for real. And so they're talking about like thousands of people dying a day.
Yeah.
Per city, per state, just about. Per state. And we got to make sure that we say this because this episode basically is going to be seen in the future. And so when we look back years from now, we notated that there have been thousands of people that's dying every day just because of this one thing.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. And mostly because of Florida.
Because of Florida. Because everyone had a hot girl summer in Miami, Florida.
Man, look.
Everybody want to have a hot girl summer, and now we have to face it.
Wait a minute. Or y'all president says the China virus. Have y'all heard of that?
The Chinese virus.
The Chinese virus.
I cannot with him.
That is funny.
How about that man wakes up and say whatever he wants to say whenever he wants to say?
They just need to stop.
And
they need to stop letting him
people that will
free.
believe him.
Everything. They will take everything he says as gospel.
Yes, for real.
I keep telling people
because his supporters always say, "Well, he puts our country first. And he makes our country look like a circus, a clown. Right. Like we're the circus.
Like we are literally the last.
What I don't like the most is that he would something we could see him right now. He can sit here and say the sky is blue, but if you ask him about it, he'll say, "I never said that. I didn't."
And then he'll blame it on Obama.
If Obama said it was yellow, but Obama was trying to say it was blue during his term. I'm like, dude, like don't like I'm crazy, like I can't see. I just
the
heard
sky is blue. It's black outside now,
right?
He
So
is so I don't
don't
get
like
it.
that part for real.
He is one of the biggest hypocritical idiots I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He sits around and pitches all of this stuff about immigrants and keeping people in immigrants this, like his parents were born here. Your parents are immigrants. Both your parents are immigrants. And your wife is an immigrant.
So
what are you talking? Oh my God.
And hopefully the election changes things. The election is
don't get me started on how he interacts with his wife. Because I don't care what nobody says. Granted, I don't know how they got together, what kind of business. I don't care. Right. But there's just certain things as a man who is married, who has taken upon their life to share their life with this person that you like some of the stuff, the way he there's one video from about a couple of weeks ago. Remember when they got off the plane and it was raining, he popped the umbrella over himself and just walked off like she wasn't standing there?
I didn't see that.
Did you really just see that? And then he curves her. When she shows up at his little events with her, she'll try to hold his hand and he be like,
I thought she was the one pushing his hand out of the way.
But it's the same way. And I'm like, bro, y'all just, And y'all just gonna sit here and worship. Y'all just gonna sit here and worship him like he ain't an idiot. Yeah. And then don't get me started on how he talks about his daughter.
Oh, about how pretty she is?
No, that's the light version. Like he said way more disgusting stuff about his own daughter.
The next time Melania, whatever her name is, the next time she decides to copyright or plagiarize my first lady's speech.
Oh yeah.
Man, look.
Just let the speech crumble on the stage.
They are a whole different story.
Yeah.
Whole different story.
Listen, now, what has 2020 brought us, y'all? 2020.
Everything.
Well, I guess we can talk somewhat about Black Lives Matter because that has been really big, and then we're going to actually have a whole show on Black Lives Matter. But so we had a few people to die this year, right?
John Lewis, C.T. Vivian.
Yeah. Sam again?
It's been too much this year.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor, George Floyd.
Yeah.
Rashard Brooks.
George Floyd was one that changed the whole world. Like he changed.
That's what set it off.
The whole game. So
that was literally that was a murder.
That was phenomenal and very historical.
So let's just talk about it. Let's set the scene. So that when we're looking at this another time, we'll make sure that we can remember what the scene was. So he had gotten stopped by the police, by white police. What state were they in? Mexico? What were they?
Actually, only two of them were white. One of them was Asian.
Okay. What state were they in? Y'all remember? Was this Michigan? Anyway, we'll think about it. I think so. All right, so somebody do a fact check. So he got stopped by the police, and we don't really know. Where the camera picked up at is when he were being detained. The police had gotten him out. He was out of the car already, and one of the police had his knee on this man. So he had already been detained, his arms behind his back in handcuffs, and the police had his knee on his neck.
Minnesota.
And he couldn't breathe. He kept saying, kept saying he actually called for his mom. It was in Minnesota.
But wait, so I learned that they finally released the cops' body camera footage from George Floyd's arrest. They just released it. They just released it yesterday. The judge from the case had blocked it from being released to the public, and somebody leaked it. It is all. I watched it on DL Hughley's Instagram page yesterday, and I'm telling you, if you are not furious about what happened to him by then, don't watch this body camera footage.
Wow. So what gets everybody off the most is that when the white cop is just sitting there with his hands in his pocket almost, his knee to George Floyd's neck, and the man is like, I can't breathe, huh?
For what, 7, 9 minutes? What was
it? Was a long time.
8.
A long time. He kept saying he couldn't.
8 minutes.
He actually called, grown ass man called for his mom. Mama called for his mom, and he actually died. That's what set everything off.
So the white cop, the way his face was looking, like he just had no worries. To find out that they knew each other prior to the incident.
The security guard. The security guard.
One of the cops and George Floyd worked together as security guards.
The one
who know that?
Yeah, the one that killed him. The one with his knee on his neck.
On his back. On his neck.
I didn't know that.
They worked together. They worked together
for years.
What?
They worked together.
Yeah.
And that's not even all. That's not even that same cop. That same cop and the Asian cop you see in the video, telling everybody to get back. That Asian cop is his brother-in-law.
Wow!
Get out of here!
Is the police?
The police officer, the police officer with his knee on his neck. That Asian officer is his brother-in-law. Married to his sister.
They all should be left. That's crazy.
And you would honestly. And this is one thing that I'm disgusted about. You would think that other minorities would look out for African Americans, being that we've been so oppressed for so many years. But sometimes other ethnicities will just treat us worse than white people.
I agree.
Sometimes, and that is so crazy. For instance, and this is going to be saved for another podcast. But for another episode, but I don't see how in the hell other cultures come into the African American community and take all of our money and don't even reinvest that money.
Not just our money. Not just our money. Our culture. Our culture. No other culture on this planet is stolen more than ours.
You got Ling Ling and Sue Wong in the nail shop with big booties and long hair. Girl, you did not have that hair before.
But this is the thing about that. What irritates me the most about them infiltrating our communities is they treat us like secondhand citizens when they even come into our community.
Yeah.
So first of all,
infiltrate.
How you gonna come sell me some shit and then treat me like shit? That's crazy.
Right.
Right.
And you know what?
Right.
And you know what? Right. You know what bothers me the most about it? You know what bothers me the most is a lot of the youth of this age. They have no idea. None of this violence is new. Cops have been killing people. Right. The cops have been harassing black people. They've been killing people. But now, the only difference is they can't hide it anymore.
Right.
There's literally a cell phone camera within 6 feet of everything. And and here's why. Let me tell you why. The FBI have said themselves that over the last 10 years, every major city's police department has been infiltrated by one or more hate groups. And he said, I'm gonna tell you this as a United States citizen, the KKK didn't go anywhere. They took off them white robes and they put on blue uniforms.
They also put on judge robes. They just changed the robes.
Yeah. They've completely infiltrated the system now. And now it's starting to show to where people are trying to defund the police. And I disagree with defunding the police. Don't take the police away, but you need to revamp who's in there. You need to get rid of this dirt that's in there, and get some people in there. Because if you take away the police and you leave people on their own, now you've got good American citizens out there who are basically on their own. Right. And criminals will take advantage of that. I know I would. If I was out there in the streets, and I know 12 ain't riding, I'm gonna hit everybody I can get.
Right.
And not to mention that you're defunding them and stuff like that, but they need, and getting rid of them, they need to do a whole new set of training.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Instead of defund, they should redirect the funds. So redirect funds is what they should do. If they take the money and take all that old school ass training that they had a long time ago, and put the right stuff and just
their training is trash.
Yeah, that's
trash.
crazy.
And I feel like if they already have incidents, I feel like it should be like most jobs. After 3, you should be gone.
Bye.
And if the first one is serious enough, you should be gone right then and there. And I don't even see how these police officers are getting bond for what they've done. They killed a whole nother person.
I can tell you
when
why.
they don't have a reason for
Please
it.
allow me to tell you why, and this can help be a whole other episode as well. They do that because it is their friends. They're all friends. The prosecutors, the other police, the judges, they're all friends. So that's just like me saying if let's just say if IQ did something, and I'm like, listen, on the back end, I'm like, listen, we're gonna have to make it look like we're gonna lock you up, but we're just chill for a minute. Just we're gonna get you out. They're all friends. They work together. So how do you
anticipate off their butt?
Yeah, and sometimes the media work with them too, though. It's like we're gonna put out just a little bit of stuff, but the reason that they are not held accountable is because they are looking for friends to hold friends accountable, and it's not gonna work.
And you look at that is a perfect explanation. If you look at what happened with the prosecution of the people that were involved in Ahmaud Arbery, they knew everybody in that town, from the prosecutors to the judges to the sheriff. The sheriff even told them, I'm a deputize y'all. How you gonna what?
Who does that?
Housewife. No, that's what it is. It's about who they know. Yeah, they bending corners and getting off. Because that dude, those same two guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery were seen in pictures 6 months before that with the state, with their county prosecutor, with the judge, and with the mayor of their town. All of them at a party together.
Crazy.
All of them. So there's no way, if the FBI hadn't stepped in, there was no way those two a-holes were going to jail.
They would not. And this is the thing. So I think I would probably look for retribution. Like I would want everyone that did not, like I would want them to actually do jail time. Like the prosecutors, the judges, everyone that had a hand in playing a role of covering it up. Who was covering
everybody who had hands on that broom that swept it under there, all y'all go.
Right.
And that's a problem too, because other attorneys don't want to go against other attorneys. Like it's judges, they don't want to do it all because they're all friends, and it's the worst system that we can have. But
the worst system. The worst.
It is horrible.
And then my thing is, people knowingly know they did hate crimes and crimes, but once they get in jail, people create GoFundMes for them, and they raise over the money that they need to get out of jail.
Man, look. Them Karens and Kevins be coming together, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Karens and Kevins. And you know what? Once they get out of jail, they'll have a job lined up for them.
Yeah, they will. Every time.
Well, we can hear you now.
My phone keep going in and out. I mean, my service. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were froze for a second. But I was going to say one thing about that George Floyd thing is that when the picketing started, it covered every state in the United States and outside of the United States. So that we've never, even Martin Luther King didn't have that much.
And you know what?
Didn't go that far.
When the rioting started and the destruction started, for about 10 minutes, I was pissed. I was like, why are y'all destroying this city? We lived here, we were born in this city.
Right.
But why? And then I stopped for a minute and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? We've been battling these same problems for the last however many years, and they still ain't listening. So if you got to destroy this entire country to get somebody to listen, burn it all down.
Exactly.
Burn it all down.
If I don't
burn
agree,
it.
But I completely understand. I understand it all.
Because that's just it's to the point. It's to the point now to where civil marching ain't doing nothing.
Yep.
It ain't doing nothing.
The only thing that happens is it feels all out, and then everything goes back. We have another.
Same thing.
You gotta hit them where it hurts. Destroying their cities and making them pay for it, dragging that money out of their pockets. It's gonna make somebody.
You got people that was even marching out there with us that wasn't for us.
Yeah.
Crazy. The craziest thing I heard. Like we wasn't the ones destroying the building.
No, when it first started.
They showed pictures. They showed videos, rather.
Got them on video.
Yes.
When it first started, they had masked white people in combat boots. There's one dude, he had on combat boots, he had gloves on, had his face tied off, mask. He was walking around breaking out windows and setting stuff on fire, screaming Black Lives Matter. And he had two white girls behind him that were also covered up, and they were spray painting BLM on everything. Spray painting. And then if you look back at the videos from the first set of riots in New York, And some of the videos from here in Atlanta, people were dropping pallets. They were dropping pallets full of bricks, like out near the riots, dropping pallets full of bricks for people to destroy stuff with. Like, why? Why are you going out there drop? And they had unmarked vans. They had them on camera. Yeah. Unmarked vans just come out and dumping bricks and stuff out for people to go destroy stuff. And it's not even us. It's not us at all.
Right.
It wasn't us at all. Especially the major destructions, the fires, the police stations. When they destroyed that police station in Minnesota, the first people on that scene to start marching at that police station were not black. They were not black.
I remember seeing some videos too of people who were marching or who was and destroying buildings. I remember seeing the videos. Yeah. And they were not black.
That Wendy's over there. They got video. The chick that set that Wendy's on fire. It was a white girl.
Yeah.
A white girl.
Yeah. It was a white girl. They are doing this. They are systematically doing this to fuel this fire. Yeah. Like we're already sitting on a massive Kindle box to where it could go one out of two ways. One, they will start to listen to us and there will be justice reform in this country. Or two,
absolutely.
Or two, there's going to be a race war and the government is going to sit back and let it happen.
I think though, once these old white heads get out, and I hate to say it like this, but get out of here. What I mean, they start to dying off because there has been a lot of change. Like there have been way more white people marching with us. People are actually getting it. I'm not saying that everyone gets it. You still got a lot of these old heads that's gonna perpetuate the whole message, hate message. They're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
But we do have our allies out there. We do. I appreciate our white allies. We have our allies out there.
Absolutely.
But this is, man, and then people wonder why I train so hard and why I'm so overly ecstatic, why I push so hard toward gun advocacy and people, because if you are African American and you are legal and you can legally own a gun, yeah, you should have one. It's just that simple. You should have one. You can legally have one. You should have a carry permit, and you should have a weapon. I don't care. You should have one, even if it's just in your house. Yeah. In this day and age, you should have the physical capability to protect yourself because nobody will always be there to protect you. Nobody.
What about this? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
And like right now, in certain states, the police are not even responding to 911 calls. In certain parts of Texas,
Atlanta.
And in certain parts of Texas, the police are not responding to any 911 calls because of COVID-19. So now these people in those parts of Texas, they're on their own.
And they're talking about defunding the police. So I've seen commercials that Trump has put out on TV, of course, where it's defunding the police and we can't get anybody right now, which makes a lot of sense, and I completely understand. We're gonna be out here like the purge, and I'm definitely not trying to be like that. So it's like I don't know. It's really sad, and I don't know what to do with this point. It's just
yeah. That's a whole nother show too, IQ. We gotta get the guns.
We got a whole lot of episodes left.
I'm actually writing some episodes down because we got a whole lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because it's man, this is gonna be bad. Taking the police away from the public in their entirety. I do not agree with that idea. I think that is.
I don't agree with it either.
That's a horrible idea.
Because actually, we do have good cops out there that's trying to do the right thing.
There are some good cops out there.
Yes.
It's going to take new leadership, though. It's going to take new leadership. Once leadership, like the sheriffs and the chiefs of the police, all them people at the top, if they show a force, or if they show that their department won't tolerate certain shit, then it'll trickle down.
And it'll trickle down. It'll start to change.
As long as
You're right.
Know it, it's going to continue to perpetuate. It's going to keep going on and on and on. And
You're
you
right.
thought that crime, because of COVID, you would think that crime would go down. But have y'all seen the freaking numbers? Crime has gone up like almost 800%. It's crazy.
Are you kidding me? There was 16 people shot in Atlanta last month. Just last month. And
crazy.
Edgewood. And three of those people were freaking 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds, bro. Like when I grew up in the hood, women and children were off limits, bro.
Right.
Period. Like women and children were off. If you kill somebody's kid in the hood, bro, we track you down and make you pay for it.
Yeah.
But these new niggas, they ain't built like that, bro. I don't know what's going on with them out there. And see, but I will say that first drive-by that happened in Edgewood, they have shown that the drivers of that drive-by were 3 white males in a pickup truck.
What?
They were 3 white males in a blacked out pickup truck. They have a picture of them going through the intersection. One of them is leaning out the window holding the gun.
Oh, really?
And the other one on the one on the passenger side is also leaning out the window holding the gun. There were 3 white males in a pickup truck.
Wow. Have y'all heard about the hangings? There have been some hangings this year?
Yeah.
Yes. All over the U.S.
Yeah.
And
then they wanted to say that these people were committing suicide. Bullshit. That's
bullshit.
There was just another one, if I'm not mistaken, in Washington State 2 days ago.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. But what about the one they found this lady in Atlanta? Well, Union, was it off of Old National Highway? A young black girl hanging from a tree.
I keep hearing about these hanging situations, and it's just popping up. And people trying to make it seem like black people are being suicidal, and that's
no, that's not it. That's not it. Because I'm telling you, the world would never be the same after 2020, ever. I'm telling you, because I've seen people. I literally sit on my porch because even though I have even when my kids are not here, my neighbor across the hall, she has 2 daughters, and the people above me, they have a couple of kids, so their kids are outside playing, and sometimes I just watch. Just to keep an eye on everybody, right? And a couple of months ago, we had a police officer come through the neighborhood, and he was canvassing and he was talking to people, asking about a white Crown Victoria. And I just happened to be sitting outside, so I'm sitting there and I heard him, and I told him, I was like, I've seen that car 2 or 3 times a week. Like it comes out here, it'll drive through the apartments. It's a white Crown Victoria. One of the windows is broken out. It's got a black trash bag in it. Come out here, he'll drive through the apartments, and then he'll sit up front by the mailbox for about 20 minutes, and then he'll just drive away. I've seen that car 2 or 3 times.
You not told some other people about that? Like even
no, well, a couple days after that, I was on my way home from Walmart in Riverdale, and I saw this huge commotion going on in front of the Planet Fitness. So I turned that way, being a rubbernecker like I do. I turned that way because I wanted to look, so I turned that way. Because they had that Crown Victoria, and they had a white panel van. They had the windows spray painted out on the van. They had them both pulled over, all their guns drawn out, and they were pulling children out of the back of that van.
Wow!
As I drove by, I watched them pull 2 children out of the back of that van.
I'm so my phone ought to be like this.
Yeah, and that's what I told. It was that moment when all this child trafficking and that violence kind of hit home for me, because that's literally 3 lights away from where I live, and I have children. I have a 16-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old son, a 6-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter.
So they was picking up children?
Yes, they were pulling kids out of the back of that van. And that's when I started my self-defense classes and my firearms training classes, because I needed to know that at least I was doing something to empower my community to keep that from happening.
Yes, because sex trafficking here in Atlanta is a big problem.
Bad. I had no idea how bad it was. No idea.
I swear I witnessed a trafficking incident when I was riding Mario one day. It was like 6 months ago. And there was this girl, she was younger, and she was hiding on the train until she could get off. And she got on at Lenox, and she got off at like Civic Center. And when she got off, she just scurried away. And I couldn't catch the police or anything in time. But I'm just like, people don't know how bad trafficking is in Atlanta. Like sex trafficking, child trafficking, it's all bad. Like Atlanta.
I did not know it was that bad.
You know what's so scary? I would never know. I'm born and raised from Atlanta, Georgia, and Yeah. Thank God I have never dealt with it, but
I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was nearly as bad as it is.
Yeah,
it's bad. Like they say something. If I'm not mistaken, it's something between. It's 7 or 8 kids between the age of 12 and 16 disappear a month in this city.
Well, because we have the busiest airport in the world, that's why we are considered the hub, because
that too.
Everyone has to come. They pass through here a whole lot, which is a good and a bad thing. Good. We got a good airport, but it's worse because that's what happens.
It's traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I couldn't even imagine going through that. Honestly, as a child, it's very traumatizing. And by the time you get of age to do anything, your life has been stripped away from you to the point where once you do develop that mindset to really figure out what's going on, you are so immune to it that you think that it's normal life.
Yeah.
Damaged.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's crazy. That kind of... and when these girls are picked up from sex clubs and things by men and I swear every time a white van comes by me in the city,
I'm the same way. I be looking.
I look, and I'm always like walking fast or running at least.
Yeah.
Because I'll be damned if I'm the next person that something happens to. And it happens in broad daylight too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Broad daylight.
That's crazy.
Tell you what. Run up on mine if you want to. If you're going to have a bad day, you run up on mine.
I just bought me a gun. It hasn't got here yet. Coming through the mail, but I got one.
I think I'm going to get a gun soon and go to the gun range.
I'm going to the gun range. I tell you what,
no. What you're going to do is you're going to get a gun soon, and then you're going to come to my classes. That's what you're going to do.
Okay,
I'll go to your classes.
Yes.
Come to your class. We'll make it a
come to my classes, because the gun range can only teach you how to shoot at paper.
Okay, we'll come to the class. We'll make it a pod class.
Oh my God, there's a spider falling from my ceiling.
I see it.
Bro, you are not in on this, bro. We good on host already, but thank you for showing up.
We'll need no more help.
What kind of rude? I hope you drank Coke. You drank?
He was trying to be a guest on the podcast.
Better go on somewhere with that, Charlotte.
So
I ain't got time for nobody, Charlotte.
This year, not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, John Lewis passed. Sad face.
Yeah, civil rights civil rights took a heavy hit at that time.
Like, and one day, I was sad when Dr. C.C. Vivian passed away, and then a whole. Not even 24 hours passed.
Yes.
I'm getting my hair done. I look down on my phone and I drop my phone because on my phone it said John Lewis has passed away. I said, "Oh no, he did not."
Yeah.
What? Is that good?
I was getting my hair done at midnight and I just dropped my phone.
Did you just hear IQ?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Man.
How about his service though? They took him from Atlanta to Alabama to Washington.
Listen,
and where was your president?
Nowhere.
Come on.
Where was their president? Because he's none of our president.
I know, right?
He is literally.
My president was at the funeral. His name is Barack Obama.
He was literally
delivering the eulogy.
Literally a living civil rights legend. And you weren't. Never mind. You know what?
Yeah, he wasn't gonna show up for that. Not even a little.
Man, he always chastised John Lewis, Congressman Lewis, saying that his district was always the worst in crime and all of this other things.
Anytime he get mad at anybody, he starts.
He going his little tantrums. He going his little tantrums.
He's a child. I swear.
He a child.
Melania has some housewife in that White House changing his diapers every day.
I was about to say, he's not just a child. He a child with a wet diaper.
With a wet diaper. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I am trying to tell you.
Okay, so I have this question, right? on the stranger side of 2020.
Okay.
So 3 days ago, the United States Pentagon released all of its files on UFOs and space, right?
Okay.
So 3 days ago, the Pentagon basically says that we're not alone in the universe, right?
Okay.
They say that they have recovered and studied objects that were not of this earth. I think that was his words, not of this earth, right? So I had this conversation with a friend of mine last night who is a very religious person. 100%, one world, God made this world and only this world and created us in his image. That's it kind of person.
Okay.
Fire and brimstone kind of Christian. But could not answer where the stuff that's falling from space came from. And I don't get it. It's all weird to me.
Yeah.
Because
I think it is too.
So here's my thing. If you want me to put stock in your one world theology, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Explain to me why there are 12 ground-based telescopes on the planet that are strong enough to see other planets and measure their chemical makeup, right? 12 of them.
Right.
And eight out of those 12 are owned and operated by the Vatican Church.
What?
That's what I got. So not only have we had COVID-19 and murder hornets and the Black Plague and the West Nile virus is back too, and the West Nile virus. Not only that,
Nile virus is back. Yeah.
But now we got aliens. Now we got aliens too.
Aliens too.
Just throw everything in the 2020.
Yeah, we have one in the White House.
So you trying to
orange.
The orange alien.
Yeah, I don't think this year could get any stranger.
I tell you what'll get strange, and I just hope this does not happen. It'll get stranger if he's reelected.
That's not gonna happen.
Let's just pray that doesn't happen. We said that the first time, though. We said it the first time. Pasha, are you trying to be off the air, off the camera?
I think her phone died. She said she had been going in and out.
That's true. She did say that. But
mine's clicking too. I think my 10% light just popped off.
It's popping off in 2020. Show popping off. So
2020 is crazy. I just say if I live or when I live, to see January the 1st, 2021, right. I'm going to throw me a big party. Because if we are able to
my birthday, share it with Pasha. Her birthday is New Year's.
If we're able to get through the rest, when we are able to get through the rest of the year,
I wish it would just go ahead and die. Just 2020, just go ahead and die. Just go away.
I just wish tomorrow I could wake up and magically, boom, it could be 2021.
2021.
Without COVID. Because
without COVID.
Wait, back up. Not 2021, just December 24th, because I got some good stuff on my Christmas. I don't want to skip Christmas.
Okay, I think honestly, after such a rough year, I think that Christmas this year is gonna be good. I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
We deserve it. If we survive this year, we deserve it.
We definitely
don't know.
We've been through the trenches, literally.
Man, look. I ain't the only person in this country that's getting cold for Christmas is the president.
Right.
He need the whole bag.
He's getting the worst gift that anyone can give
whole
him.
Bag.
A non-reelection.
Out of office. Yeah, get him out of there.
Oh my God. We
absolutely.
Just it's gonna be disheartening though when you show up in numbers and you try to show up and you stand in line and you do all these things and the wrong person get in the office. It can be disheartening. So,
it can be very disheartening. It really can.
Yeah.
All right, well, 2020 gonna give us a break on that one because we don't survive everything else.
And we need a new governor too.
Oh, over him.
Don't get me started on him.
Please don't. I really cannot stand him. I think I don't like him more than I don't like the president. Same level.
They're on the same level.
They're on the same level.
New leadership. We definitely need new leadership.
He's the dumbest.
Right.
So it's been
Who do y'all think that Biden's VP pick is going to be? I hope it's either Senator Kamala Harris or Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Well, he also has, what's the name on there too? Girl from here, who ran for governor.
Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, Abrams.
So one of the
three. She was my number one pick out of all of them. But my thing is, she personally said that she would not accept the position because she doesn't want to be VP. I think, honestly, Stacey Abrams is going to run for governor again. And that's what she's waiting on.
Uh-huh. All right, well, I'm sorry, I got joke.
Look at the margarita face.
I think one of them. I honestly hope Kamala Harris wins. Go with him. I hope he chooses her, and I hope they both win.
Yeah.
So,
I can get jiggy with that.
Yeah. Well, we got to end this thing. We've been on here for about an hour or so now, so we're going to wrap it all up. Any final words? Any final words?
Thank you just for tuning in.
Yeah.
I like Ike.
Y'all stay safe in 2020 because it ain't safe out here.
Please.
Don't forget your sanitizer. Don't forget to wash your hands.
Yeah. And always know where your chapstick is.
Yes.
20. Do you know where your children are? That's what they used to say back in the Wayne Williams days.
Man, look.
I may not know about that.
Listen, my 6-year-old texted me last night from his phone.
That's another subject. Children and phones.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The 6-year-old. Okay.
Because I know for a fact that I didn't have it then, so we definitely have to talk about that on the situation.
Right.
We don't need to talk about that. You were raised different.
Let's go ahead and end this thing, y'all. We can talk offline if we want to, but let's just go ahead and at least end this, and in case anyone needs to get off the phone. But my whole word is stay safe, everybody, and cover up for real, because this COVID thing still lives. 2020 is still popping.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to end this.
Hey, well, hold on. Good night.
I ain't did it yet. Hold on. My screen went away.
Say good night. If I don't see y'all tomorrow, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.